Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to enable Spring Security. We're going to add the Maven dependency for Spring Boot Starter Security. Let me open up my pom.xml file. Expand my window here for a second. And I'll just move down to my dependency section. I'll add a new dependency here. I'll just go ahead and copy one of my previous dependencies and just paste it here. And I'll make the appropriate update here for Spring Boot Starter Security. I'll be sure to save this file and simply go over here and load the Maven changes. So be sure to reload that Maven file. And remember, by adding the security dependency, Spring Boot will automatically secure all endpoints for the application, and it'll do this by default. And let's test this out real quick. Let's go ahead and run our application. And one thing to notice here is that it even says, hey, using generated security. And it gives us a password. So, interesting. So something's working a little bit differently, right? Okay. And also remember that the default username is called user. So we can use this information to log into our application. I'll go ahead and start up a web browser. And then I'll go to my application. So this is our localhost 8080/API/employees. So we're attempting to access this REST API. And wow, now notice here, Spring Boot will automatically secure all endpoints for the application. Since we're not logged in, they're going to prompt us for a user ID and password. And the default username is user. And then for the password, we need to look at our application logs again, right? And just kind of do a little copy paste here of that information. And then we paste it here and do a sign in, and great, success. So we're able to actually log into the application. There's security in place, but we're able to use that user ID and password to log in. And again, this is just the basics. We'll get into more advanced stuff later, but this is just the basics. Let's go ahead and copy this URL and let's open it up in a new private window, a new incognito window, and attempt to log in. So since we're using a new incognito window, there's no session tracking in place. And so we have to log in again. If we enter in bad information, it'll tell us, hey, this is bad information. So we actually need to enter the correct user ID and password in order to access this given app. I'll simply move back over to the server console, copy that generated password, move it up here, and then paste it. And again, we're back in our application. What I'd like to do is override the default username and password. And I can do that by making some modifications here in our application.properties file. And I'll add these two new entries. I'll set up Spring Security username equals Scott. Spring Security password equals test123. And now let's go ahead and run our application again. Swing over to our web browser. You may need to open up a new window or open up a new private window. Access the URL. We try entering some bad information. It's going to tell us bad credentials. And now let's go ahead and enter the correct information. So user of Scott, password of test123. And that's based on information that we put in our configuration file. And success. Excellent. So we're able to log in using those customizations that we set up in that config file. Good job.